Thanks for coming back to part 2 of our Acorn processing series. These have sat for about 3 to 4 weeks and I'm ready to get cracking. In this video, I'll show you what tools I use, a couple of different methods of cracking the acorns, as well as some of the surprises you may find inside. First thing we'll need is a cracking device. I find a hammer will do the trick just fine. I'm using a claw hammer, but go ahead and take your pick. Next, you'll need a cracking surface, the harder the better, and a clean receptacle for the nuts after you have freed them from their shells. Now that we have our tools, let's get started. Oh, and I found that having a supervisor around helps to keep me on task. Visually inspect your acorn to ensure that it is still suitable for cracking. These qualities are covered in my Acorn 101 video, so go give it a watch. Then place it on the ground and give it a solid smack. Not too hard, but firm. Once you hear the shell crack, you should be able to pull it apart rather easily with your fingers. Then just pull out the meat of the nut and toss it into your receptacle. Then discard the shell in the trash bin or compost pile once you are done. The nuts should come out rather easily without much coaxing. If you find the nuts are stuck to the interior of the shell and are consequently infuriating to remove, you need to let your acorns dry just a little longer. They should come out easily like this one here. I'm using very little force and just one finger to pop it out of its shell. The brown paper on the outside will be removed later. Don't like cracking one at a time? Go ahead, grab a handful and give each one a smack with the hammer as you go down the line. This will speed up the pace, but keep in mind, if you're grabbing handfuls at a time instead of one at a time, you may miss tossing out a subpar acorn and find something inside that's less than desirable. Going one at a time does have its advantages. Even the most keen-eyed acorn cracker will sometimes get a surprise. From discoloration to grub infestation to previously grub-infested acorns, these are the ones that look like they have sawdust inside. You will inevitably run into some that are not suitable for consumption. But if you're carefully inspecting your acorns throughout the process, you'll weed most of the bad ones out. Again, here's another example of how easily the acorn should come out of its shell. Once you have cracked your acorns, you have a choice to make. You can dry the meats and store them in an airtight container to continue the process later, or you can take them straight to the next step of leaching. With these, I'm going to dry them first by letting them sit out in a single layer until they are rock hard, and then store them for future use. Next time we'll discuss the leaching process, hot versus cold, and I will choose the cold leaching method for these here. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and as always, take time to get out and explore your world.